Hey guys, one of our customers dropped off their 2016 GMC Sierra dually, and we're going to install some stuff on it. So we've got our Gen 2 taillights. These fit the dually Sierras as well as the 1500 and up series on the 1415 Silverados. They're a plug and play design, and let's get started. Okay, so right out of the box, as you can see here, we've got our styling in here, which is these right here. These are all running lights. And then we have a brake and turn signal in LED. And then we have the reverse. This here is a reflector on the top and bottom. Also on the side, we also have a reflector here. On the back side, as you can see, we have 2 resistors to correct the rate of flash. We have the connectors that will plug into your stock sockets. And then this right here, once you peel this off, this is where the reverse bulb goes. Okay, so to get started, you're gonna wanna lower your tailgate. The only tool you're gonna need is a screwdriver with a T15 Torx adapter on it. You can use a bit, or if you have an Allen key, but it takes a T15. So the 2 screws are located here and here. And these will release the taillight from this inside jam. Make sure you don't lose these screws because we don't provide new ones, and you don't want to have to go to the dealer just for these 2 little screws that they may not have on hand. So once we've removed that, we can remove the taillight from the actual body of the vehicle by pulling straight out. Okay, so now we're ready to pull this off of the vehicle. All you have to do is, once this is loose like this, is just grab on the lower portion. Most of the time the bottom will pop out first. There are 2 retaining clips in here that have to release from the body. So once you do that, they'll just come off just like this, and you'll see the harness back here. When we get to this part, all we're gonna do is untwist the bulbs and let these hang, because we're gonna reuse the stock harness. That way you don't have to do any wiring or running of a harness like in the past. So once you do that, we can now put on the new taillight. Okay, so in most cases, once you pull the taillight out, it's gonna be pretty dirty, dusty, maybe some road grime depending on which part of the country you live in and how long you've had your vehicle. What I like to do, I have some alcohol in here. I just like to give it a good spray down. And then with my rag is just wipe it down. Alcohol is not gonna hurt anything. And depending on where you place your resistors, if you place them where I do, it'll promote the adhesion on the 3M tape. That way it sticks good and it's not gonna fall off while you're driving or anything. So you just wanna give it a really good wipe down. That way, once we do install the resistors, they're gonna stick pretty good. You want to let it air dry for maybe a minute or so, just so any residue dries up, and then we can stick the resistors to the vehicle. Okay, so I like to disconnect our resistors from the taillight, just to stick them on. That way you're not trying to hold the taillight and stick the resistors all at the same time. To do that, all you have to do is unplug the bullet connectors on the end. There's 2 resistors per taillight. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pull off the red protective layer, and we're just going to find a good spot in. So now you can just pull these and set these off to the side. Next, what we're going to do is on the stock harness, we obviously still have the bulbs in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull out the top and the bottom bulbs because we don't need these anymore. Okay, so now we're ready to install our taillight. We have these harnesses that come out of the back of our taillight, and these will line up with the sockets. So we remove the bulbs, and if you look back here, the factory doesn't tape it all the way to the socket. You can see where the black wire is and the green wires. So, which also on ours, we have black and green. So what you wanna do is you wanna line them up. So you wanna line your black wires with your black wire and your green wires with your green wires. And then all this is gonna do is just simply plug in like that. You want to push it all the way in, and then just follow the harness up. You'll plug in your reverse bulb and twist it down. And then the same thing for this top plug. Again, we have black, brown, and green. We have black and green on ours. So what you want to do is you want to line the black up with the green, just like that. Push ours in. It will go in and snap. And then we can install everything into the back of the housing. So for this, all we have to do is feed those all the way back in, line it up, and twist. So right here is a good time to put some lithium grease on your gaskets. Granted, this is a new vehicle, but many of you are installing older, lights on older vehicles. So a lot of the rubber components will get worn down, especially if you have road grime getting back here. The rubber components start to break down. So what you want to do is, if the gaskets look really good, go ahead and use lithium grease. If the gaskets look broken down, worn out, they're not creating a good seal, what you want to do is you're going to want to go to your auto parts store or the dealership and get new gaskets for your sockets. That way you create a good seal and you're not going to have any moisture issues. Last step before we put this on the vehicle is going to be now you can plug in your resistors. So as you'll notice, we have two black wires. It doesn't matter which one it goes into. Just plug them back in, like so. These ones for this top one. Now you just want to kind of tuck everything back nice. Make sure that it's not going to hit anything. Line up these tabs with these holes. And all you got to do is give it a good push to seat it down. Look at your body line. Everything lines up really good. And then put your screws back in and you can check them out. Now, before you go driving everywhere, I always suggest to people to test all the functions, which we're going to show you all the functions right now. So test all your functions, make sure everything's working properly. If you plug those connectors in backwards, that portion's not going to work. So you want to make sure that you're going to plug them in correctly and all your functions are going to work before you're out on the road.